before we announce the main event, I'd like to give a shout out to Grappling Rewind for coming out and commentating this event.
Thanks, Brad.
And I'd like to thank Josh from College Park for letting us do this event here today. And finally, I'd like to thank all of the guys that competed today. You guys have put in a lot of work, and you put on a great show today. Very incredible. Some of the best matches I've seen, by far. Moving on to the main event. Our first fighter, in the red corner, standing 5'10", weighing in at 165 pounds, representing SAS Team USA, Andrew Kochel. His opponent, in the blue corner, standing 5'8", weighing in at 167, from 410 Academy of Martial Arts, Sean Ashley.
So, Andrew is a mainstay on the pro grappling scene. You see him on Fight to Win and many other
pretty much
events.
everything else.
We saw him at SAGC 7. We saw him at, was it Midwest Finishers? I can't remember where we first saw him versus Rob Best.
I think that was finishers, not Midwest finishers, just regular finishers.
Right now, we're really jockeying for that front headlock position. We're tying up. Flying triangle attempt that is missed.
Sean leapt up for the flying armbar, the flying triangle, whichever he was going for.
The flying something. Pulls again. Does Sean right back up to the feet. Ooh, snatches up that leg really quickly, but barely misses it. Is Kochel. Sean pulls guard once again. Kochel seems ready to engage now.
In a big way.
Comes forward.
Yeah.
Looking for that body, almost like a body lock pass from outside there.
Keeping the hands
it's
on
more
the
of
hip.
a Toriando style pass, really.
Yeah, but on the hips.
Yep.
Interesting way to do that.
Sean very aggressively ripping down the head and pulling the arms. Kochel just kind of letting it go through. Back up to the feet. Trying for that falling armbar that
Here.
we've seen in recent times.
We've seen a couple of those today even.
Yes. Sean looking to invert off of reverse De La Hiva.
Some hand fighting going on right now. Both competitors really fighting here heavy in the collar tie. There's a lot of pushing. Seems like significantly more wrestling going on than we've seen in a lot of other matches.
We're about halfway through round one of this matchup.
These guys look big for 165.
Yeah, looks to be.
You're just mad because you're not that big.
Exactly.
Nice little ankle pick from the attempted pull. Kochel's starting to come around the edge. Sean keeping the feet in the way to keep him away.
Sean really looks like he wants that open guard spinning armbar. You know, he's shot for that a couple times, and every time they've gone down, he's been able to kind of even get to the wrist of Kochel. He's attempted that armbar. We've seen it, I think, 3 or 4 times even in this round. So I'm pretty certain that's what he is going for, and that's his primary attack. It'll be interesting to see if these guys do go into the later rounds, when these guys do go into later rounds, what he elects to actually start using, or if he continues to use the same thing.
Kochel seems to preferentially pass to the right, which is, I feel like fewer people do that.
A lot of people pass
To the left.
to the right of their opponent.
Correct.
Or to the left if you're looking at it.
But
As
some
we say that, he comes to the actual side. a lot of left-handed people pass the opposite way.
I think Kochel is left-handed, by the way.
So that might be why he's passing that way. Kochel briefly had a hold of the leg. Kochel's doing something really interesting with the way he's passing, trying to walk around Toriano style, which is he's placing, as he did it just now, he's placing his right hand on the lat and his left hand on the hip area and just trying to push Sean away.
Kochel going for that heel hook. Yeah, it's really interesting. He has his hands real low on the body in that passing position. His head is dove in as well.
So, man, I don't know if you remember when we were rolling, but I was using a similar position with my arm to prevent the inversion.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So specifically, or maybe addressing that armbar threat from that spinning armbar.
Yeah, if you tuck your forearm into their hip, you can use it to kind of prevent the inversion.
Right now we're jockeying for head position, and Kochel really coming in forward with 20 seconds left in the first round.
So Kochel, look at the scoreboard there for a second for the time.
The timer.
Scoreboard timer.
Kochel working his way up.
I assume Kochel's going to shoot for a heel hook real quick here in the last second.
He's got about 3 seconds left.
Going for the straight ankle.
That ends round 1.
So we have a 30-second break, then we are on to round 2 in the main event of SAGC Redemption here at College Park. So a real fun matchup. Again, a non-scoring round here, but we're starting to see what both guys are looking for here. We're seeing Kochel come in with real heavy pressure, really keeping those hands nice and low on Sean's body, and we're seeing Sean really shooting for that far side armbar and the inverted armbar from the open guard.
Again, being seen a lot by Amanda Leve, especially in her win and the ADCC trials.
Yeah, versus Maggie Girandotti.
Yep. Round 2 begins. Back up on the feet. Let's see if Sean starts to pull that armbar again. He's looking like he's going to try to do it.
Goes for that low ankle pick again, but is unable to get it. Looks like Sean's a little more wise to it now.
It's a little less of a step to that one. Reaching over for that headlock is Sean. Can't really get it in. Kochel reaching for the leg. Sean not looking too enthused about all of these attempts. It kind of looks like he doesn't want to be here, is the expression on his face.
Yeah, we saw really similar to the beginning to the last round as well, where both guys, decided to pressure and decided to really collar tie, wrestle.
Beautiful overtie to switch over to the Russian. Didn't get a hold of it the rest of the way, though. Once again, a call back to earlier, Ben Askren has a wonderful overtie series that works off of that. Kochel now pushing forward into half guard. Sean trying to bring the leg over, and Kochel going for the legs himself. Back up to the feet.
Kochel's got that really bread and butter heel hook entry where he just, shoots back and goes for that outside heel hook.
Now, Sean here bringing up the leg to break the grip and also bait the flying submission of some sorts.
Yeah, it's a really similar setup that we see that Amanda Leve uses for that. So potentially, honestly, he's not even a bait. It's actually just sort of, he's testing the waters to see what Kochel's reaction is going to be here.
Kochel jumps up for the guillotine.
Jumping guillotine, but it seems like Sean actually jumps there as well and kind of preempts it, and they both end up kind of just falling down.
Once again, strong forward pressure going through with Andrew. Maybe again looking for that entry to that heel hook. Fighting from the ground currently. Kochel pushing through and trying to just turn Sean.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Sean's looking for here. He's defended. He's really aggressively pressing on Andrew's face here. He's trying to sort of muffler from the bottom. He's going over the nose and the eyes. But other than that armbar, I'm not sure if that's his only thing he's looking for. Kochel with the double underpass attempt here really lifts him up right under the neck. But
Stacking all right, not great. He could lift him up a little bit more, but definitely causing some pressure that Sean is not liking. Sean using a figure 4 to keep Kochel away.
He's used that a couple times now. But I'm not sure if he's going to enter for a leg off that or if he's just using that as sort of a regaining composure position.
So I believe it's to keep Andrew away from him. It's a good pushing position, and that way, unless you really screw that up, your legs aren't going to get brought to one side.
It's very, very hard to get around it, too. It's a very, very strong position, and you've got to fully commit if you're going to start attacking for the heel hook off that. You've got to fully sit back and give up the bottom position.
And while we've been droning on, we've got 3 minutes and 15 seconds down in round number 2.
145 remaining. It almost looks like Sean is baiting that Nogi Tomonagi. He's putting the foot up to the hip. So Andrew keeps that real low position, and Sean just pulls into it.
Again, right to that figure 4 position with his legs is Sean, and Kochel bringing the leg inside.
There's that attempt for that armbar from the bottom off the inversion. Again, Andrew seems to become wise to it now, so I'm not certain if how well it'll work in the future.
Sean locking up wonderful transition from half guard, stepping over into the omoplata.
Is Andrew going to knee
Andrew
bar off it,
stepping
though?
over and trying to pass. Falls back for the leg, has it locked out. Sean doesn't care. That's the look on his face.
I'm not sure if they're looking for a reset or not. Andrew looks like he's got the
gonna
gunslinger grip on the straight ankle there. Josh, what do you call that grip?
Straight footlock grip. I don't try to give it Stephen King book names.
Is Gunslinger a Stephen King book?
The Dark
The
Tower
Dark Tower,
series, bro.
yeah.
All right.
Come on,
I'm not a big reader.
obviously. Got about 20 seconds left in round 2.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting to a third round here.
Pretty evenly matched card so far. Or
Going into the wall for a second there.
Sean
pretty
pushing him
even
into
match.
the wall.
There we go. Whoop.
Whoa, Andrew going for his own leaping armbar.
Looking for that little breakdancing leg flare, and that's the end of round 2. 30-second break, and then the third round. Will we see a submission, or will we see another overtime?
I'm not sure.
Sean was definitely more active this round of actual threats of submissions, especially with that omoplata. Andrew addressed it very quickly and stepped over, trying to go for the armbar and immediately transitioning into the leg attacks. We'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, I was really interested to see the speed in which Andrew addressed that. Like, there was no lag. It was just immediately into that position and, immediately on the offensive again after he had defended it. He really hadn't even fully cleared the omoplata, but omoplata and nogi is very, very difficult to finish.
Absolutely. We start right off in the tie.
Andrews leaned over significantly more than he was in the first round. We saw him starting to lean over more in the second round. I think he knows that Sean's most likely not going to try to take him down here and is most likely going to pull at the opportune time and throw for that armbar. So he looks like he sort of has a more bent over position in anticipation of that. So I'm curious to see how this bait is going to turn out.
Andrew's hinging at the hips, again, like a taller person would do to keep him away.
And he is definitely a taller person for this weight.
5'10". That's kind of a normal height.
I take it back.
Captain of the Redactions, Maine Miller.
That is reasonable. So again, really similar passing position here from Andrew. Sean's getting his feet in. Again, that foot on the shoulder position that we've seen, all day now. That's really that's really been the metagame for a long time to stop those passing positions. Is getting that top foot, swinging it over, and putting it on the shoulder.
Kochel really just swaying back and forth. Cartwheel pass attempt. Sean sees it, kind of just rolls through and faces him.
He's able to track it. You saw Kochel really telegraphed it heavy and didn't really catch him by surprise. So Sean was able to invert and and track the position there.
I think it's a really hard thing to catch by surprise. I think that's one of the reasons why you have to kind of pressure the head down like Nick Rodriguez did.
But really good, outside passing here. Andrew did a really good job of getting all the way around, but Sean again did a real good job of locking up that close side leg into the half guard.
So now we have Kochel on top half right now. Looks like he was going for that head grip.
And beautiful little sweep, only to be turned right back over by Sean. He had that nice little pinch that Kyotera actually likes to do from half guard to get the turnover.
Yeah,
2 minutes down in the last round of regulation.
Both guys are looking a little tired at this point, honestly, which is kind of to be expected after 13 minutes or 12 minutes of pretty consistent action with a minute break total.
Kochel just circling, looking to try to find an opening to grab something up. We're nearing the halfway point of the final round of regulation. Sean just content to hang out right now, let it ride, see if anything opens up for him in particular. He just laid flat for a brief moment.
Looking for that arm. Again, he really wants that inversion. He wants Andrew to overcommit with that close side hip grip. He wants to shoot the arm through. Oh, let's see.
Attacking both legs, coming up. Leg weaves type position. Now we're looking at Sean really fighting through. And he's back into his open guard position, very comfortable where he is. Again, that figure 4 position to keep him away.
I think we're going to have to get a reset here.
They call time right now. We've got 1:55 left in the final round.
With the reset.
Still definitely enough time to get something going for both guys.
Back up on the feet we go with 1:50.
Sean sits again. Andrew with that same outside passing style comes in, hand on the hip and abs there. Now I assume what Andrew's going to do here is if he's unable to get past in this regulation, he's going to put the front knee in and he's going to shoot back for the heel hook again in the dying seconds of the round if he's unable to get past during regulation here. Or during the next probably 40 seconds. Unless Sean stays inverted, then we'll most likely see him go for something like an esteem lock.
Possibly if it keeps him in that inverted position, he could just dive over and try to take the back. We've got 1 minute left. Or he could go Travis Stevens style and kind of flip into the back take. If you've not seen that match of Travis Stevens versus one of the Meow brothers, definitely check that out, especially that transition.
Very good. Yeah, Andrew's doing a real good job here in these passing positions, not giving up his elbow, and Sean's doing a really good job actively hunting that inside wrist grip as he looks for that armbar.
Got about 30 seconds left.
We're about to enter overtime if we do not get a submission. Cuts through. Sean gets the leg through just in time to re-guard. Again, we've got that knee pinch off of the Z-guard. Trying to work his way up, possibly looking for omoplata from the rubber guard.
Yeah, I just don't think he has the time to finish it, though.
Nope, but he can use it to transition and come on top.
He can. I just think he's going to hold the position here and wait for the round to end.
Overtime we go. It's a fairly high pace that they're putting out, both competitors.
Yeah.
So it's going to be real interesting to see where it goes from there. See who takes the initiative.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me if a very similar match to the last 2 overtime matches we've seen is, one guy
conserving energy, waiting, waiting for that opportunity to attack.
I feel like we're going to get another flash sub here, in this overtime round. All right, so we move into overtime now.
So it begins.
Again, very, very similar tie-up we've seen. Andrew with a really heavy grip, leaned over, very, very heavy.
Now it's time to go for broke.
Yeah, any submission now ends the match and wins the bout.
Jumping guillotine. He's got a hold of the head. He's got a hold of it now. He's dragging him down.
Nice drag down.
Kochel. Sean's trying to get out. Is Kochel going to step around? Possible Japanese or Peruvian necktie. He sinks through. Does he have a Darce grip? Nope.
Oh, no, he has to readjust.
Oh, wait. He still has the grip. He's locked in. He could trap the leg. They're up against the wall, but I don't think they're going to stop it. He needs to lock in. He's holding.
I don't think they're going to stop in overtime. You shouldn't stop in overtime.
He can sit through and start the neck crank as well. He's hiking it. Oh!
Sean does a great job defending. Is able to get his head out.
Very, very exciting sequence there.
That was the closest to a finish from either competitor in the match so far.
We're only 1 minute into overtime at this point.
I mean, if I was Kochel as of right now, I'd back up and try to get him to stand back up.
I think it's reasonable. That jumping guillotine attempt, especially from that low position, the big angle, the big position change there might have caught Sean off guard a little bit.
But that's the other thing is Sean doesn't have to stand up if he doesn't want to. But there we go. Back into the middle and then directly onto his butt. He immediately goes to his back to avoid having to be sat up and possibly have his neck snagged again.
Which I think is honestly a pretty good idea at this point in the match. Again, 15 minutes in, the reaction speed isn't quite as quick. That's a very, very flash attempt that you need to, actively address quickly. If you don't have the gas, you don't have the gas, I think it's very reasonable to not have to deal with that stand-up.
Very true. And, this is now allowing time to blood flow to return back to his brain. Sean giving a little slap to Kochel's leg, going upside down. Again, he could dive right over and try to take the back.
It's a risky move, though, because we've seen Sean track him on big movements before.
Ooh, dives right in head first and actually gets by. Can he hold on to the position? Ooh, Sean seems to be trying to take the back from this position.
Looking for that goat hook back take.
Kochel tried to stay low and stay in there. Could not get to it.
Yeah, it's real tough when you're in deep water here. Your opponent at this point has seen close to 20 minutes of what you throw up, and what you're throwing up now is they've seen. It's hard to show new stuff consistently for that level of time, especially A-game stuff.
Once again, honestly, if Kochel can isolate the far leg of that figure four that he's doing and step all the way over, he might be able to catch the submission on that side.
It's definitely possible. But it's still definitely a difficult position to do.
What are we looking like at overtime?
I think we're about like 2.5 minutes in. So both gentlemen reset in the middle, standing. Ooh, Andrew pushes forward hard.
Oh, pushing forward, going through. Sean trying to get the head.
Where I'd get in front of him.
Maine trying to protect all of his gear.
It's reasonable.
So we can podcast later in the week.
Tomorrow.
Later in the week.
So really heavy active wrestling. So as we kind of get closer to wrapping up this event, what do you guys have for Friday night? I want you guys to think about it. So at the end of the match, at the end of the night, we can talk about it a little bit.
Hands down, it's Eric Naples versus Rafael Ricardo.
All right, Emil has declared it.
Hands down, he says.
Yeah. No, that's not even close. That match was off the chain.
Would it get DMX hype? All right. That's a yes. Kind of interested in people allowing the resetting up of if you start to walk away and the other guy, starts crawling or whatever, attack. Again, head forward, trying to pass.
I just think there's so much at this point. Where these guys are almost 20 minutes in. I just think it's very, very difficult to have that level of explosiveness to be able to capitalize on it from the time the guy can turn around. I see exactly what you mean, but it's
Falls
just so
right
hard.
onto it, catches
Good
a heel hook.
Gets the
Gets
tap.
Oh,
Andrew wins.
4 minutes
That was
and
great.
40 seconds in overtime. 4:40 in overtime heel hook.
Kochel actually didn't have a full set control, but just cranked it and turned and got the finish.
And the winner via overtime, heel hook at 4 minutes 40 seconds. Andrew Kochel.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the entire SAGC redemption card. Andrew Kochel finishing it up.
That was incredible. Honestly, that's some of the best I've seen you do around here since your last fight there. What do you think about Ashley's performance here that pushed you guys over into sudden death?
Yeah, he is a very good foot locking technique, so I knew that coming. He just knew what Frank Rosenthal about a month ago. So I studied all his film, just watched his writing techniques, so I knew if I came by backside or right with a foot locking. So I just practiced keeping my feet away and passing around the gym, and it worked out.
Honestly, you did an outstanding job, man. I'm glad to see that you're climbing back the ranks up here. Let's see if we can get that belt back.
So let's give our final thoughts. So what did you guys think of the event overall?
What an excellent event. Like, everybody was super friendly. All of the competitors were talking to us as we're, in between commentary of matches. Everybody was really fighting hard, trying to show off their style of jiu-jitsu. Personally, for me, the Mike Villeneuve, holy moly, versus Matt Devore was my personal fight of the night. They really went at it, and Matt got the redemption and got
he
the
did.
win and moves on to fight for the title at SAGC 8.
I just like the stakes for that match. You know, it's like these both guys have met each other before. We had Mike giving up the title in order to, you know, enter into the 155-pound this tournament in order to determine who's going to fight for the belt at SAGC 8. And I think that story overall is just really interesting, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I think Emil had a different match of the night. What did you have, Emil?
Yeah, I had Eric Naples versus Rafael Picardo. That was the last of the undercard matches. That was the one, the two small guys. One of them had the really sneaky baseball bat choke. Josh and I were standing and like almost yelling into the mic for half of that match. I think hands down that was the most exciting one that I saw, and saw the most dynamic kind of back and forth. We saw both competitors were really incredible. Eric was just tremendous. So.
See, you're putting me on the spot, and I can't come up with a match of the night. This is always like a multiple day process for me.
Well, you got to figure it out, so figure it out.
Well,
Pick a match now.
I'm
Go.
gonna
Wrap
go with
it
the match.
up.
I'm going to go with match Emil said. Again, we had all of the entire commentary team on our feet for that match, because that's how entertained we were. We were looking at it. We'd all brought our mic stands up to talk about the match while we were getting to enjoy the match. And so I think that really sells it for me. It's very rare that all three of us get on our feet to watch a match.
Absolutely. So again, we are the Grappling Rewind for SAGC. Tune in for SAGC 8 to watch the finals of the 155-pound bracket.
And there's some big names that have been announced for that as well. It should be an outstanding event. And every Tuesday you can get our recap of all professional grappling events on the Grappling Rewind. We're going to recap this event. It'll come out Tuesday. Listen to it, SAGC Redemption. As always, I am Maine.
I'm Emil.
And I'm Josh.
And we are the Grappling Rewind, and this has been SAGC Redemption. Have a great evening.